Okay, time now is 10:15 a.m. in the morning on um 10:15 a.m. on April 9th. I slept from 5:10 a.m. to 10:10 a.m. So that's 5 hours, a bit less than that actually. And yeah, fuck. I watched nothing yesterday. I think I already didn't have a lot of time yesterday to do anything because yesterday was a really long day. Um yeah, it's crazy. And my short film Smooth Operator, the montage took forever to edit. It was really tough. The animated the way each shot slides off of each other is so complicated. Um yeah, and then I still have a bunch of homework. Fuck me. Um So yeah, this morning I'm gonna wake up a little early and film a review, etc. Um, I did do the laundry though. My pajamas new. That's nice. Um, but yeah, someone ate my ice cream. Like I ate ice cream at night, and by that I mean like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning. But like my cherry cordial ice cream. I opened up when I grabbed it from the freezer. I was like, whoa, it's kind of light. I know I opened it and ate a little bit, but it was very light. I opened up and there's only half a box left, and I'm like, what? What the fuck happened? So, yeah, I don't know. And like, I look at the pattern of eating, because like when I eat ice cream, I eat very carefully. Like, I put my spoon at a spot so that I'm not ruining a pattern or something. But when I opened the box, the it looked like a fucking rusty mountain, like a it just looked ugly. So I don't know. Someone ate my ice cream, man. I don't know what the fuck is going on. Also there's a point yesterday where Quentin and Adipta were talking, and I'm like, oh god, what are they talking about? They were talking about the dishwasher. So Adipta's shaved and had a haircut, and he's okay now, I guess. And him and Quentin was teaching him how to use the dishwasher, and everything seems fine. It's like he's acting like nothing happened. And then so I went downstairs and asked them both about the TV remote and the glass cup. So neither of them know where my glass cup went. It just disappeared, I guess, into thin air. But Adipta knows where the TV remote is. It's like hidden under a pillow, like on the couch. It's very specific, and it's so funny that he knows exactly where it's hidden. But yeah, my butter has gone missing as well. I swear to God, I had like 4 strips of butter, and 2 of them just disappeared. I don't know, but I don't. I think I forgot to mention this, but a few days ago, the Triple Link people put up these notices on the wall saying that on April 8th, so yesterday, they're gonna clear stuff out of the fridge. Unless we label them, it's like a fridge clean out thing. So I spent a lot of time sticking labels onto almost each food item saying Enoch, 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 and the room number. Yeah, that's it. That's all. Um, finally, I just checked my phone. I just got into Camps Fest, and my film is screened at the very end, so that's cool. Um, yeah. And as expected, Cheyenne and Mats are also in there. I don't know if Colin's film is in there because I don't know what's the name of Colin's film. Um, and then I don't know who else is in there. Like, but I want to know. Put out an Instagram post. Tell us the names of the filmmakers. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm kind of excited for today because today's the con lineup announcement and at 2 a.m. in the morning. So I'll be at a diner in Hollywood reacting to it with Matt and Colin and etc. Unless they don't show up, but I hope they do. And in the meantime, I hope I solve the whole plane ticket conundrum. Like, yeah, it's likely that I'll head over to Cannes a day early at this point because the ticket's like $400 cheaper. There's the accommodation, but there's no fucking way $400 for one night is kind of insane, you know? Yeah, also if like four people are booking a hostel together, like it's not gonna be that expensive. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I'm just being greedy. It's like that time where it's the day where we need to fly out of Tokyo and I still took 3 hours to walk around Narita and drink a coffee from a konbini. Yeah, it's like that. I just want to walk around Nice. Um, yeah, that's it. Okay, time now is 9:33 p.m. I just came back home in my street clothes and holy fucking shit, what a day. What a roller coaster ride of a day. I highly doubt. Okay, first of all, the day hasn't ended, by the way. It'll end at around 4 a.m. But what a fucking roller coaster ride. It already has been. So I woke up and the first thing I learned about is that I got into Camps Fest. It was pleasant. It was a pleasant. It wasn't a surprise, but it was pleasant. I know I was gonna get in because I'm just that good. I know because I have connects. I know a lot of Camps people, and a lot of Camps people are watching my film, so of course they're gonna pick my film. So it's. I mean, yeah, I'm confident, but also, I just know it was gonna happen. So I didn't even get an email saying congratulations, you got in. It's just the guy who's managing the Camps Fest this time just emailing, I think, the filmmakers all at once saying, hey, this is going to be the. I guess that is kind of a congratulation email, but yeah, the official Camps Fest Instagram hasn't really put up anything yet. Um, But yeah, and then I immediately thought about telling Jiayun, and then I'm like, should I tell her? I don't want to be an asshole. I don't want to sound like an asshole, but I also want to tell her. I want to engage with her. So like throughout the entire day, I didn't really tell her. I was just waiting. I hope I would run into her, but I didn't. So this morning, I was gonna film Black Country New Road album review. I did not because I ran out of time. Instead, I did my ALI reports, and I found out that when TA3 told me to postpone our meeting to Friday, he actually postponed it to the next week. As in, because the week ends on Wednesday and starts on Thursday, like according to ALI. So, I was supposed to meet TA3 for 4 hours in total over the last 2 weeks, according to ALI. So from last Thursday to today. But we didn't. So I think I'll have to text. I can make it up. Like I not make it up. I make up is the right word, but not as in faking it. I can repair it. I can repay it. So because supposedly our my next meeting with TA4 is the last meeting. Um and same for my meeting with TA3. I could meet with TA3 for 2 more times. So there's that. So yeah, so who knows? I don't know. So I woke up, I took a bus, and I arrived at CTCS 192 discussion pretty much on time. Sat down and I said nothing. I'm just too tired, and I had too much to focus on, right? I had to focus on typing the ALI reports, and I submitted them like 15 minutes late, but it's okay. As long as they don't knock on my door and like text me and warn me, I think it's okay. And then after class, I saw Rachel. I went up to her and I was like, "Hey, photo shoot." So yesterday or a couple days ago, I asked Rachel to do photo shoot for me, and Rachel's like, "I can't do it on Monday, but I can do it on Wednesday." So yeah, in the SCA building, Rachel's like, "Okay, before we do the photo shoot, I need to buy coffee." So we lined up at Coffee Bean, and I proceeded to run into several people, including Katie. Katie in a hat, grabbing her skateboard. She's like, "Hey," and then she lined up, and then she was a bit awkward about it, and she lined up forward. She's like, "Oh, I didn't know where the line ends." And I'm like, "Hey, but I'm talking to Rachel already." So it was a little awkward. And like Katie's completely okay with this. But like I'm just thinking how crazy it is that Katie, someone as powerful as Katie, is lining up, and I don't even really need to talk to her. Like she's already talking to me. Like I'm in a position of power here. So we waited for the drinks. Katie left. I don't know why, but Katie just left. Oh yeah, Katie got his drink really fast. Me and Rachel we talked, and then Matthew shows up. Matt. And Matt, and I was like, okay, I guess I'll ignore him. I don't think he likes me. Because another thing is, Matt likes a lot of people, literally. Like on WhatsApp, he would like people's messages. He likes people's reviews on Letterboxd. He just never does that to me. And he always ignores me, both online and offline. And I just get the vibe that he doesn't like me, and I've been getting that vibe since February. I might be overthinking, I probably am, but there's definitely a shade of Matt probably thinks I'm corny or something. So Matt went up to a couple other girls, a couple other women, a Chinese woman and another white woman, the same two that I saw Matt talking to a few weeks ago. Matt went up to them, and I was just gonna ignore him. Even though it's crazy, because I and Matt were traveling to France together. We're gonna have to be buddies, but somehow I'm just ignoring him. He doesn't exist. And as I was gonna walk towards Rachel, Matt was like, "Enoch," and I immediately turned because I'm already super aware where he is. So he said Enoch, and I'm like, okay, I guess he wants to talk to me. So I went up to him, and he's like, "How's it going? How's it been?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think he asked about, no, he asked me, so are you going tonight?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I will." And I was like, I asked him if he's going, and he's like, "I don't know, because I don't know if everyone's going." And I'm like, but we gotta go. So it's so crazy too, because me and Matt were on our phones and we're talking in the CAN WhatsApp group chat, yet we are standing about 3 meters apart and we're not acknowledging each other until Matt saw me. So yeah, we talked a little bit. I talked a little bit about my plane ticket plan, and he's like, "Okay, send the details to me. Like maybe we can take the same flight together." And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "Oh, you can get cheaper flights. Oh wait, you're going for a round trip. Okay. Well, I'm thinking of traveling around after con." And I'm like, "Oh really?" So I don't know. I'm not gonna buy the plane ticket yet. In the event that somehow there's some Euro trip there. I don't know to where though, aside from Marseille and Montpellier or northern Italy. But I think it's too ambitious and it's too expensive. I'd rather save up for a Japan trip instead. Anyways, I digress. So me and Rachel, we went to the second floor of SCA to take some photos of me. This is the third time. I asked Justin T to take photos of me. I asked Luis, and now I'm asking Rachel. And Rachel's like, don't worry, I got my own camera. I was just going to ask him to use my own phone, but he's like, no, I got my camera. So he took out this very small Sony DSLR, and he just started taking photos of me. And I was not in this. I was in a red sweater. It's dirty because I've been wearing it for a lot, but I need to wear it because it looks good. I tried a pink shirt. It does not look good on me at all. I thought it would because pink is a little whimsical, but I guess it's a little too big and it's a little too flimsy. Didn't really work on me. But the red sweater is perfect. And holy shit, the photos are amazing. They're not the best, but like, I am the least photogenic person in the world. But Rachel managed to take photos of me really well. I think, A, because it's daytime and I'm sitting in a pretty good spot. B, I'm comfortable. Like, if I'm nervous, I can never take a good photo. But C, I think I kind of embrace my vibe. Like, I'm a little dainty. I was a little dainty. I was a little, little softy. And I think that really fit the vibe. And then I thought, well, if you use your Sony DSLR to take pictures of me, then it's going to take a while before I can get it. I need to get it today. And he's like, no, he just took the SD card out, put it in a Google Drive on her laptop, and immediately sent over to me. Boom, it's a done deal, immediate. And I'm like, okay, wow, this is actually pretty good. So that's handled. I'll be using those photos for the next 10 years, pretty much, because I will never have photos taken of me as good as those, probably. So I went home. Originally, my idea is after CTCS 192 discussion and the photo shoot, I arrive home kind of early. I don't have a 340, and then I have a CTPR 290. I have a whole afternoon, about 5 hours, for me to chill, film an album review, edit Smooth Operator. It's gonna be nice. The thing is, because of the photo shoot, I went home kind of late. I went to the bus stop and I had to wait for the bus for 20 minutes. I ran into Bella, the Shanghai girl, a Shanghai woman. I also ran into Anya. But that's pretty much it. I waited for the bus for a long time and I took the bus. There's no way in hell am I walking home. It was sweltering heat. I was sweating. So I walked home. I took a bus home and then I had to go to the bathroom and then I filmed an album review, had lunch, and immediately edited Smooth Operator. And holy shit, the editing of Smooth Operator took me way longer than it should. It was such a tedious edit. There were so many intricate parts. And so at some point I kind of gave up. The sound is really rough. The edit's kind of rough. But it's impressive enough to be, to impress. And another thing is I'm supposed to head over to SEA and arrive at around 4:50 or 5 to grab some camera equipment from Audrey so that we can check out the camera stuff together at 5:50 p.m. at the camera equipment checkout location. Because we need to check out, as opposed to check in, a bunch of camera equipment like camera, tripod, because we have officially, according to the school procedure, have finished using our camera, because officially we have finished shooting all 3 of our projects in our trio. And not only did I not make it to 4:50, I couldn't make 5:20 bus, and I couldn't make it to 5:50. Well, I could, but I would be late. I was just editing, and then exporting took forever. It took like 15 minutes. It was stuck on 100%. I was like, please, 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 please. And then after that, I have to upload it to Google Drive. It was so hectic. And all at the same time, I had to have lunch. I ate the frozen palak paneer and clam chowder. Not the greatest lunch, but I'll have what I have. And then some random Chinese people showed up to clear out our fridge. I thought that happened yesterday. But thankfully, I'm here to see the action, and I told them just don't take anything that's mine. And I also told them that that section's Quentin, so just leave that there. So anyways, I packed up all my bags, laptop, everything, and zoomed. And never in my life have I walked this fast, and in the second half, run this fast to school with a whole ass laptop on my backpack. It was heavy and it sucked. I was sweating all over again. I hate sweating. I don't know why the fuck I keep sweating. And I'm just thinking, what's happening to me? Every single day I'm living on the edge. Like, I'm always late for something. I'm always running towards something. I'm always in trouble. Like, one thing happens after another after another. Like, it's so chaotic. It's, what the fuck am I doing, you know? Why am I like a main character? I don't know. Anyways, I texted in the group chat. I was like, hey, can you ask them to open for a couple more minutes? Because I'm running now, but I'm not sure if I can make it. I'm not sure, ... And then Christina was like, I would run. So I just ran. And I ran over to SCC. I arrived. I was 2 minutes late, 6:02. That's very impressive, considering I left my apartment at around 5:45. So it was about 17 minutes. 17! Normal walking speed from here to SCA is about 20-something minutes. 17 is record. Unless I run all the way, of course. Then it would be a 14:13, but yeah. Wow. So I arrived, I'm sweating, I'm panting. And then afterwards, Andrew, Wu, and Portia come on the elevators. And they're not running. They're okay. And the CEC stays open for a little while. So I didn't even need to run. But yeah, I arrived and I was like, in my head I'm thinking, yeah, I shouldn't have submitted my short film. I should have asked for an extension. Because only me and Cole had submitted our short films at that moment. But of course, that is a sleight of hand. Because after we finished checking out our cameras, we went back. I checked the Google Drive for our 290 class. And there were 6 more short films, including me and Cole's. So, I guess, okay, fine. So, yeah, we returned to class, and it is around that moment when I checked the CAN WhatsApp group chat, and Tiger told us that Riley Lynch wants to stay with us for the con trip. And then Matt was like, Riley Lynch? Is that who I think it is? And Tiger's like, yes, that's David Lynch's son. So yeah, I guess I'll be visiting the Cannes Film Festival and sharing the same house as David Lynch's son. Sure, why not? Why the fuck not? That's great. That's insane. That's so crazy. Wow, holy shit. Thank God I applied to this CAN program thing. Thank God. So I guess that's happening. I hope it happens. Because the thing is, like, every time I get hopeful about something, then it gets cancelled. But if, essentially, Tiger knows Mary Sweeney, David Lynch's ex-wife. You know, Mary Sweeney's son, Riley Lynch, 33 years old. Not that old, actually. Not that old. Is coming with us. So we're like, sure. Yeah. So, cool beans. I continued the class. And we screened all of the short films. So the first one was Vix. And Vix was like, after the professor complimented him on his editing, he went crazy. The editing's like avant-garde. Like House, the horror film, like Megalopolis. It was so crazy. But the sound was terrible. The story is just this love story about guilt. But he's really confident in his editing, and I'm like, I appreciate that. And then CC screened. Whose was it? Fuck, whose was it? I already forgot because it was really forgettable. It was really, I think, Sella's. Yeah, so Sella... No, there was another person. Or was there? I don't know. Sella's short film is pretty simple. 3-minute short about before the film, she was like, "Okay, guys, by the way, there will be animal intestines," and I laughed because I know my film is like a bomb. It's like an atomic bomb of safety issues. And then she's like, "Oh, we got animal intestines." So I was like, "Oh, maybe I'm not that bad." But turns out by that she meant in a black and white photo printed on a piece of paper. So Cella's film is about two doctors trying to convince two, I guess, evil businessmen, testers, I don't know, just evil people trying to sell vaccines. And those two evil people are like, "Oh, the virus is fake. Oh, flu. Everyone has to flu. It's not that important." It's like satire. It's pretty good. I think the editing is solid. It's definitely on track. Like she's definitely on track to be a film production student. Like that's what the film production major is all about. Very reasonable story, very reasonable conflict, very reasonable endings. Um, it was okay. Visually, not that interesting, but it was all right. Portia's film is very experimental. It's filmed at her house, like her childhood house, and it's like this glitchy Five Nights at Freddy's horror comedy. It's like about a guy who can't sleep and walks around the house and in the dark, and a lot of weird things happen. Like there's a giant minion balloon that kind of haunts him, and he sleeps on a bed, and an old guy shows up out of nowhere, and then it's kind of weird and glitchy. It's pretty cool. I like the effects. I like that Portia leans into the effects. And she said that it's about memory and nostalgia, and I thought to myself, the world is not enough is about memory and nostalgia, but I actually treat it as memory and nostalgia, not just some spooky fun thing, but something that I would actually cry to. But sure. And then they screen my film. Thank God my film isn't the last, because I feel like if my film's the last, it would just leave a very bad taste. But yeah, they play my film, and I didn't think I would be nervous, but once again, I was nervous. My heart was racing, and then boom, it played. And holy testicles. Did I get a strong reaction? Pretty much what I needed. Low-key, I wish the reaction was stronger, but the film starts with the main character jerking off, and right off the bat. And it's so interesting, because this film is about guys, and girls react more. Yeah, the girls react more. Portia was already laughing. Portia was like, um, Portia was like, what, what's happening? And then some girls in the back started laughing. And then the film continued one scene after the next after the next. And there were so many moments where it's supposed to be funny, but no one laughed. I think people are like conflicted. Should I laugh or should I be scared? Because it's like dark comedy, and so much of the funny is basically like insanity. So, um, yeah, it continued, and then by the time we enter the gym, that's when things get really crazy, and people like the girls started laughing. I think the guys were having a reaction too, but the girls laughed more when the main character was like, "What if I kill myself?" Burst out laughing. There's a scene where he rubs blood on his face. It's supposed to be scary, but when the girls laugh, I also thought, yeah, that's kind of funny. And I'm glad they laughed. I'm actually happy they laughed. Um, and then the end credits, and then it ends. And the professor's like, so after the credits roll, in my head, I'm just like, I'm fucked because of all the safety stuff. So, wow, the girls loved it. Jade spoke up. Jade was like, "Oh, I love that this topic is amazing. Like this, like you picked a very interesting topic, like toxic masculinity. I thought the editing, the montage is great." Cole spoke up. Cole was like, "Oh yeah, I think toxic masculinity is a topic that is not talked about enough." And then Christina was really excited. Christina was like, "Oh, it's so energetic. I love the music." And then Ryan was like, "I love your style. I love the blurry, the time lapse, the everything, the angles." And then that's it. And then CC said it's a really cool film. It's just that there are a lot of safety issues, which is great. Like her only gripe is safety. Like, it's not anything technical, even though I find a lot of gripes with the technical stuff. And then it went to the professor, and the professor immediately said, yes. So you're going to have to stay after class, and we're going to have to talk about the safety thing. But for the film itself, I really feel the anger. You know, we talked a little bit about this when Ryan screened his film, but when Ryan screened his film, I thought that it's personal. It came from a really personal place. And I kind of felt the same way about your script. When I read your script, I could already feel the anger. And I was like, holy shit. Like, in my head, I'm like, oh my God. Because the thing is, yeah, it's personal. I think every script I wrote is personal. But with such a crazy satirical dark comedy, it feels very away. It's not like a quiet, intimate thing. But it is, in some ways, very personal, too. And he said he could feel it. And it was great. It was a great compliment because I'm trying to achieve a similar thing as a Whiplash and The Substance. And then he talked about music, like the editing could be better, like the music could, like there could be more fade. And then he asked me what's my comment, and my mind kind of blanked. I was like, yeah, it's a rough edit. I had this idea and I really struggled writing it because I don't know what scenes to include and what to exclude. And the gym was tough to film. And that's pretty much all I said. And then only after I said that, I was like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of other things I could have said. I could have talked about my influences, The Substance, Climax, Old Boy, Whiplash, Rocky, my creative block, my actors being really game to do those things. The professor asked me if I did find all these extras in the gym, and I was like, yes. So yeah, finally they screened Cole's film, and it was mid. The thing is, Cole's film looks really good, but that's because he somehow hired a DP and a PD, which is not allowed, but somehow the professor let him slide. But it looked good, and then when I found out there's a DP, I'm like, well, then it should have looked even better, because there are like different colored lights. By the way, colored lights is such a cheat code for good cinematography. So much so that I wish I don't need to use it ever again. Anyways, so we had a break, and then during break, CC went up to me. So I was talking to Rachel in Cantonese, and CC went up to us, and CC went up to me, and CC was like, did you, like in Mandarin, did you file all the safety requests? And I'm like, no, just the fight, but other, no. And CC's like, yeah, that's a problem. And CC said, 很难做, which is difficult to do. Like, you're making us difficult to do our jobs as a teaching assistant and a professor. But CC wasn't mean about it. CC was just like, yeah, I don't know what to do with this. And CC mentioned, like, a huge safety issue is the main character crossing the road. And I didn't even know that's a safety issue. When the professor was like, there are a bunch of safety issues, I thought he's referring to the boiled eggs and the lifting weights and the fake blood. But I didn't know crossing the road was a huge safety issue. I guess that makes sense. But yeah. So a little bit later, we had our production meetings with our hotel shoot group, and ours was really quiet. We pretty much have everything down aside from the production design and the casting. So it was really chill. So we all left. And then I walked away because the professor is busy talking to Megan and Rachel's talking to CC. So I thought, well, I should just leave. So I walked away and I talked to Andrew a little bit. And then I'm like, should I go back? Because I feel irresponsible now. And I did go back. To be fair, I could just walk away and leave. But I went back. And I went up to CC and I was like, should I stay? And CC's like, yeah, you should. You should probably stay for a bit. And I'm like, okay. So I was kind of scared. I don't know what's going to happen to me. See, this bittersweet feeling. Like, I'm really proud of my film. But, like, I created a monster and now I'm getting punished. So Rachel's leaving, so I thought I should tell the professor that I need to leave too. So I went up to the professor. I was like, hey, I'm about to leave now. Yeah, the professor's like, okay, I'm going to talk to you for a moment. So we walked out of the classroom and we talked. And the professor looked at me And he was like, okay, now there are a lot of safety issues in your film, and it's just too much. Now, I'm not going to take you upstairs, probably referring to the SPO and the dean, but I will have to lower your grades. And I was like, thank you. Like, thank you for not taking me upstairs. And I asked him, so how much lower? And he's like, I don't know, but you will pass the class. So I'm like, okay. And then I left. So I don't know if I should feel happy about this or sad about this. Sad because I'm a straight A student. I love having A's just for the sake of it, because academia is a game for me. But I really don't want to have my grades hurt. It feels bad, you know. But I should feel lucky because I'm not failing class, according to him, and he's not taking it up to the deans. I even told the professor, yeah, I can edit a clean version. Because what if the problem is he has to take the short film to someone, like submit the short film somewhere and let the dean see it? Then I should edit a cleaner version. So yeah. So I left and I talked with Rachel more. We walked at the gym. Oh, and I ran into Colin downstairs. We talked a little bit because I'm supposed to see Colin a little bit later anyways. And then we talked a bit about later in the flight. And then I talked to Rachel a lot. Rachel's really stressed out about her P2. I'm more stressed out about the lower grades. But we talked outside of the gym, and some Hong Konger girl, some international Hong Konger girl, suddenly came up to us and was like, "Are you two from Hong Kong?" And then we had a little chat. But it was very awkward because Rachel's awkward and I'm introverted. But I made it less awkward. She said she just went to an HKSA meeting, but it was like internal meeting, and I'm like, okay. And she's freshman. Her name is Tiffany, so who knows? Maybe I'll see her again. But yeah. And then I left, and I'm here now. So yeah, I don't know. It's a very bittersweet feeling. I think, though, what I want to say is, first of all, I'm not failing the class, hopefully, according to the professor. So it's not that bad. Maybe last semester, maybe a few years ago, somebody was skateboarding behind a car and that got him failing the class. But at least, thank God I at least tried to file the safety permit for the fight with SPO, because if I didn't do that, I'd probably actually fail. But I actually did do that. Second of all, this is kind of badass though, isn't it? This is the only real film production class I'm taking in USC. Very popular, famous film school. And this is the only class in my entire college life to get a D or a C or something. Not because I'm bad at filmmaking, but because of violating safety guidelines. That's badass. That's like some Werner Herzog thing, you know? That's some Werner Herzog shit. That's like PTA dropping out of college in 2 weeks, or Spielberg dropping out of Long Beach. It's like, that's kind of badass though. A lot of people are following rules, you know, trying to be mainstream, but me, I just straight up broke rules and I got punished for it. By the way, I'm traveling to Cannes Film Festival with David Lynch's son, and my film just got into Cannes Fest. So I am a good filmmaker. At least I try to be, but that's kind of badass. Hopefully my GPA doesn't go down too much. But I do think that if all my other classes this semester get an A, with 340, please. Or next 2 semesters, I do think it's possible for me to get that GPA back up. Hopefully this doesn't hurt my GPA that bad. I'm on my 3rd semester and my GPA is kind of locked in around 3.8, 3.7 range, which I think is pretty good. I think if I get a D in this class, worst case scenario is D. I think after D is F, right? I think if I get a D in this class, it'll drop down to maybe 3.4, maybe 3.5. Yeah, but still better than 3.1. I don't know, but maybe I should rejoice because my GPA is high enough that, and my filmmaking is good enough that I can afford a punishment like this. Like, I can survive a punishment like this. It's not going to ruin me. Either way, I'm pumped for later. I'm seeing notifications now. They're discussing whether they should actually go to the diner or not in Hollywood. We'll see. Alright, time now is 10:49 a.m. on April 10th. Yeah. Slept from 5:30 to 10:30. Yeah, fuck. Could be worse, but yeah. So, clear number up. Yeah. So last night, what happened? It's the Cannes Film Festival lineup announcement, and before the announcement, I had about an hour, so I couldn't really watch a film at that point. I need to edit my reviews, and then after the announcement, I thought, you know what, fuck it, it's too late. I'm not gonna watch a movie or watch anything. So yesterday, I did not watch a single film. Once again. So for 2 days in a row, I did not watch anything. That's fucking insane. I don't know how did I manage that. But yeah, you might be wondering, wait, aren't you supposed to be at the Swingers, the diner, reacting to the Cannes lineup announcement? Well, we canceled that shit because a lot of people are too sleepy and a lot of people thought that it's undoable. Like around 10 p.m., 11 p.m., people were discussing and they were like, you know what? I think it's better if we just find someone's place to do it. And then at some point, I think it was a seer who said, can we just like react it on Zoom or something? Can we just postpone it to tomorrow at a later date and just react together later? But like that kind of ruins the point, like, because everyone's just gonna check their phones and find out the lineup. So we're not gonna actually have a reaction. And then everyone just came to a consensus and was like, yeah, you know what, let's just not meet tonight. So we didn't. But might be a good thing because I got to have a little time to myself and I saved a lot of money for Uber, but yeah. Ugh. So, anyways, here I am today. I also texted Jayun to tell her to come to Cam's Fest, and Jayun was like, oh, I was like, are you free Friday night? And Jayun's like, what? I was planning to watch a movie with my friends, but not sure. And I'm like, oh no, it's just Cam's Fest, but go ahead and watch your movie though. And then she didn't respond. And I'm just like, fuck. If this is in person, it would be better because if I text her and ask her to come, the tone comes off a little selfish and entitled when it's on text. But if I see her in person and tell her in person, it's better. Like, yeah. So, anyways, there's that. But yeah, I gotta finish my Cannes lineup announcement reaction video this morning, and also my Spotlight Journal adjustments. I have went over a little bit last night. Just so much to do, so much is fucking happening all at once, man. So today I'm going to religion class, and then I'm just gonna go to Dulce and eat a donut and a coffee. I'll be missing 192 lecture, it's fine, I don't care anymore. I'll miss whatever I miss, and then I'll head into the lecture and watch maybe half of the film that we're supposed to watch, and then at 5 p.m. At 5 p.m. I'm gonna head over to the Cannes meeting, and then we'll see what happens then. And then maybe I'll go to Trader Joe's. I'll hit the traders. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm so tired. Friday, I got to wake up a little later. Can't wait. Tomorrow I get to wake up a little later. But yeah, super pumped that Hong Kong got a film in. So at least I got to watch that. Yeah, that's it. Okay, time now is 9:34 p.m. Yeah, I'm like dying of hunger now, so I'm gonna be quick. But yeah, this week has technically ended. Um, I'm feeling okay. Um, yeah, I woke up and first thing in the morning, I finished editing my con reaction video, and of course, that took way longer than I'd expected, so I was like, you know what, fuck it. My laptop is taking, I don't know what's happening with my laptop lately. It's taking a long time to do anything, so um it took like 20 something minutes to export my con reaction video, so I'm like, you know what, fuck it. So I literally, while Adobe's exporting, holy shit, it's cold. While Adobe is exporting, I just closed the laptop, put it in my backpack, and I walked. I walked to school. I walked to a Manson Center. I do not recommend that at all. It took me 25 minutes to walk there. I took a different route this time. When I walked southward, I walked at the side of the school and not from the SCA side. But yeah, I arrived and I wasn't that late. I was late for like a couple minutes, but it's okay. Took the whole class, didn't say anything, and then afterwards, there was a really interesting wandering period of time. So there's CTCS 192, but I kind of don't want to go because it's boring. I lose nothing by missing the lecture today, anyways, because the lecture today is about a screening of a film last Thursday, but I didn't even show up for the screening last Thursday, or last. And then yeah, if I don't write a paper on this film, then what's the point of me learning this, anyways? And also I need food, so I went to Dulce and I bought a donut and a matcha. So that's really interesting. I'm eating dessert for lunch. So this morning I had pork soup dumplings from Trader Joe's, and they're actually not bad. So I had meat this morning. That's why I can eat dessert for lunch. So my lunch is literally just a donut and a matcha at like 1 p.m. and then I haven't had anything since. I just had 2 chocolates though. um and then yeah, oh my, I have a sore here. So yeah, I had a donut and matcha and it was nice. But eating that donut was a mess. So I ordered this Oreo donut and I thought there's gonna be like Oreo cream inside, but no, it's actually just a regular cream donut, but with Oreo chopped up and sprinkled on top. And holy shit, I picked the worst donut to eat because the Oreo pieces, they fall out, they're everywhere, but I managed to keep it tidy as with my best abilities. Every time I walk past the SCA lobby, I keep looking at the seats, thinking that Jayun would be there, and I think I walked past that place like at least 5 times today, and each time I'm pretty sure Jayun isn't there. She's kind of gone again. Huh. Maybe she's gonna be gone for months. Like, who knows? Maybe she's gonna be gone for 2 months, the same way she disappeared from January to February. And then maybe she's gonna be frequently showing up again. Like, you never really know with her. She's a little unpredictable. But yeah, so I had donut, matcha, and then I ran into Maisie, said hi, and then I went downstairs, and I'm like, why am I still here? So I went back upstairs, and I worked on my spotlight paper, which needs editing. It's due last night, but I'm still doing it today. I'm just too fucking busy, man. So I sat down on a couch on the second floor this time around, outside of room 245, and just worked on the papers, worked on the article. And then at around 3:30, I went to the Ray Stark Theater. I waited until students start walking out so that I know it's a break. And then after that, I went inside, and turns out lecture is continuing. And then I continued working on my article on my laptop during lecture, and then 20 minutes ish later, the professor's like, you know what, you guys can have another small break. So we all left again, and I'm like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna leave. So I went back up to the second floor to outside of 245 to continue working on my article, and then Zach and Emma walked into room 245, and then I'm like, okay, yeah, let's walk in. So I went into, at 5 p.m., I went into the room, and then more and more people showed up, and there we go, con meeting from 5 to 7 p.m. Yeah, quite intriguing updates. So yesterday, or I believe a couple days ago, crazy news is that David Lynch's son wants to stay with us. But of course, when they announced that, I was happy, but I also know that that's not gonna happen somehow. So yeah, that's not gonna really happen. So Sandrine had coffee with Mary Sweeney yesterday and talked about this, I guess. Or I think it was about something else. Tiger talked to someone about Riley Lynch coming. Essentially, Riley Lynch is looking at somewhere to stay. There's still a chance that he might stay with us, but it's not confirmed. But he's looking for a place to stay, probably with someone else. I don't know. Because it wouldn't make sense. He's not a USC student. He's 33. Meanwhile, I mean, a couple people among us are in their late 20s, early 30s, so it's not like that crazy, but like, I don't know, it's still like kind of weird, you know, a little outsider. Anyways, a lot of people were like, at least introduce us to him. So, I don't know, regardless, we'll be seeing David Lynch's son. I don't want to take photos with him because he's not really a celebrity, he's a celebrity's son. But I think if I have a conversation with him, it would be really nice. If I could say a couple things to him, have lunch, you know, the whole gang. Like, it would just be really nice. Talk about film, you know. I think it's, first of all, meeting David Lynch's son and also eventually his ex-wife is probably the closest I'll ever get to meeting David Lynch anyways. But also it's just great to know them, you know. Anyways. We talked about the lineup. So it's basically impossible for us to film our live reaction to the lineup announcement because everyone already knew the movies. And it's not like the Oscars where I have to avoid the spoilers and then watch the Oscars and make sure all my reactions are fresh. But we still talked about the reality TV. Apparently a few of us did indeed film their reactions, but only a few of us. I think Tiger, Camden, Colin, and me did. Garrett was probably, I don't know. And then we talked about just a lot of branding stuff, like the new logo for the team, what to do on Instagram, our bios and headshots for the websites, articles, podcasts, etc., etc., etc. I started the YouTube channel for Khan. None of them know that I have this YouTube channel, but I just casually, using Khan's, our Khan team, Khan Classics team, Gmail, opened a YouTube channel, and I uploaded a WhatsApp theme trap remix video as test. And then Sandrine was like, "You might want to hold your horses on that." And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Oh, there's another channel called Reality Ends Here, and it's like the official USC film channel, but it's different from like SCA. So maybe we could use that." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's a good idea." So we talked a little bit about what to post, like video ideas. Should we interview strangers? We eventually discussed what to do at the festival, nitty gritty details, dress code, wearing comfortable shoes, eating ice cream at the beach, and potentially visiting the markets and the pavilions, and yeah, just filming vlogs, vlogging, etc. And then that's pretty much it. We didn't really have a lot to ask. The other team member, Elizabeth, finally showed her face over Zoom because she's in London right now studying abroad. But she finally spoke, and she said she's been keeping up with the meeting notes. Sandrine was really worried that she's not doing anything. I mean, which is true. We got the school, or Sandrine is helping us getting accreditation to go to Khan. Like, we should repay in some way. But yeah. But I was quite on it. Yeah, Sandrine was sitting next to me in the meeting, and then Matt was also there. Almost everyone was there. Yeah, and then we just talked about the lineup. I was more comfortable to joke around and stuff. I realized that, like, I am much more comfortable being with a bunch of film people than if I'm with a bunch of Hong Kongers. Like, I know Hong Kong is my heart and soul, but at the end of the day, film people, like, passion is different, you know? It really is. We keep making references to movies and, like, filmmakers, etc. We just know things, you know? We just have similar passion for things. Also, like, in front of these, like, cams, TAs, and film production TAs, I really come off like a hardcore cinephile. Maybe I am. I think I am a hardcore cinephile, but, like, wow, I feel like I just know everything. But I don't. But I know things now. Like, I know the difference between un certain regard and the freaking director's Fortnite. I know filmmakers. I just know things. Matt was doing research on all the films, and Matt was like, "Yeah, the lineup is mid." And then Camden was like, "No, it's actually quite nice." And Garrett was like, "Yeah, I'm excited." And Matt was like, "No, it's mid. Last year's was better." And Matt was doing research on the films, and he looked up The Exit 8, and I was like, "Oh, it's based off a video game." And he doesn't know that because he doesn't watch VTubers. But yeah. We're still waiting for that late edition. I personally think the lineup was a bit disappointing, considering how much good cinema we could have had if we had included Lynn Ramsey, Jim Jarmusch, Began, and Terrence Malick. If these four go into the competition, this year's Khan will upgrade it to insane levels. But of course, that's being too optimistic. Personally, because there's only 19 films in competition now, and last year was 23, there's a chance they could add 4. There's also a chance they could add 2, but it's somewhere between 2 to 4. And I think one of them's got to be Lynn Ramsey, and the other's got to be Began. I think Malick getting in is really, chances are slim as hell. But I do wholeheartedly believe that Malick wants to be in competition. Otherwise, he wouldn't be editing so hard. and screening, like holding private screenings for the film. If these three get in, I think Jarmusch is just rejected. Like Khan just hates it. But I think there's a really good chance that Lynn Ramsey and Begon are getting in, and Malik, sure. But I can see it happening. If these three get in, I will explode with joy. Yeah, so there's that. And that's pretty much it. And, even in Directors Fortnight, Critics Week, there are probably a lot of interesting films will also turn up there. If more Asian films show up there, I'm down to see them and review them. Kristen Stewart's film may show up at Directors Fortnight. That's my prediction now. So funny. ScarJo and Harris Dickinson's films are in Un Certain Regard. But yeah. Yeah, we mentioned the David Lynch tribute, but Mary Sweeney. So here's Mary Sweeney's plan. Maybe I shouldn't be talking about this. So Mary Sweeney doesn't want to go to the festival because why would she? She's not making films or anything. And she doesn't know if Cannes is going to hold a David Lynch tribute. But she will conveniently be staying at Paris during Cannes. The moment she finds out that Cannes is doing some sort of David Lynch tribute, and if Cannes asks Mary Sweeney to show up, Mary Sweeney will conveniently appear. So that's pretty much the plan. But apparently it's too soon to hold a tribute for David Lynch. Which means I want to go next year, if there is some kind of tribute. We also talked about plane tickets a little bit. I want to ask Garrett specifically, because apparently half of us, or I think most of us, already had a plane ticket. And a lot of people are... The reason why I can't buy tickets with a lot of people is because a lot of people are not flying from LA. Some people here are going to London first, and like London to travel, or like for home. Like I think Tiger's flying back to the UK first, and then Camden is going to be traveling in Berlin first, I believe. And some people are traveling back to their respective homes, like San Diego or I don't know, like Michigan or something. And then eventually they'll travel to Cannes. So there's no way we'll end up on the same plane. Matt surprisingly still hasn't bought a ticket. And I said I haven't bought a ticket, and people were like, you have to buy it like now. And I concur. Like, I was supposed to buy it last weekend, and it's Thursday now already. So I'll probably buy it either today or tomorrow, like ASAP. I talked to Garrett after the meeting, and Garrett is for sure arriving at Nice on the 12th. Now that's very useful information. He's not arriving at Cannes on the 12th. It's Nice on the 12th, and then Cannes on the 13th. So stay over at Nice, which is my plan. If I'm going, 8:45 p.m. at Nice arrival, I'm not gonna catch a train to Cannes in time. It's night. So I'll just stay over in Nice. I'll stay over in Nice. I'll buy a quick dinner there. Not even a quick dinner. 8:45 p.m. 9 p.m. is 12 a.m. I'll probably still eat something, and then I'll go to bed. But I asked Garrett about to stay over. Colin still hasn't confirmed either. Colin still hasn't booked a flight, but Colin's different. Colin's going to London to visit some of his family. But he said he's leaning on the 12th, leaning on arriving on the 12th. So yeah. So that's cool. So if me, Garrett, and Colin would stay in a hostel together just for a night, it's gonna work. Garrett still haven't found it, but I think at this point, regardless of the housing situation, I need to buy the plane ticket first. Nice 12, confirm. The even bigger question is actually when to return, and I know it just highly depends on the prices, but it also depends on the housing. Right now, I think we are very likely going to extend it for one more day for the villa. So if I leave on the 25th, that's highly possible. But I do want to stay around a little bit, travel to Monaco. I don't know, maybe a couple more days. Maybe one day in Monaco, another day in Montpellier or Marseille or something. So, don't know. That I'd actually like to ask Min, because I know Min for sure is staying till the 25th. And I also need to ask Matt about this, actually, because I know Matt also wants to do a Euro trip. Either way, Garrett and Colin are traveling to Switzerland after. Like on the 25th at 5 a.m., they're flying to Switzerland. So I'll stay behind, but of course I won't be following them to Switzerland. I want to chill in France a little bit, just for a couple days, right? So yeah, that's it. Not much else. I'm uploading I uploaded my trailer to The World's Not Enough on Instagram. Wanted to do it yesterday but didn't have time, and it's receiving quite a bit of love. Matt liked it. Matt also promoted my film, like on the Con WhatsApp group. Matt was like, "Oh, me and Enoch's films are showing tomorrow. Please come," which is cool. So maybe Matt doesn't hate me. He's just weird. He just doesn't hate me. Don't know. But yeah, I'm excited for the Cannes Fest tomorrow. I wonder what kind of people will show up. I hope people would show up and support me. I want people to secretly film me when I do the talk, but I'm still coughing too. Fuck. But yeah, tomorrow will be nice, I hope. And then, yeah. That's pretty much it. No news from Jayan. She's not talking to me. I just think talking to her in person is a much better option than texting her. I think talking to people in person is always better than texting. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, I can get closer to her, and sometimes it's like, no, I can't. You know? Kind of swinging pendulum. Once again. Okay, well, I'm eating steak, green beans and mushrooms, and potatoes right now. Yeah.